Falcons, I'm Lizzie Mays.
And I'm Skylar Robinson.
And today is Tuesday, February 20th.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello. For today's lunch, we will have lasagna roll-ups with a Parmesan breadstick, pulled pork with a bun, breaded chicken chunks, onion rings, and a kale veggie salad, also assorted fresh sliced fruit. And for tomorrow's breakfast, we'll have a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich with craisins and apple juice.
Hello Falcons, I'm Lizzie Mays, and today for athletics, the wrestling team will be having a home match versus Stony Brook at 5:15. Wait, it's not tennis season.
Today after school, robotics will meet in Miss Christensen's room, and tomorrow, green team, robotics, artistically talented, and Falcon Men on Purpose will meet during Falcon time. Thank you, Falcons.
We
challenge you.
What's the challenge?
Welcome to Questions with Mr. Kaiser. How did you become a principal?
So I'm Mrs. Kaiser, Principal Kaiser's wife, and we met in college. And at the time, Mr. Kaiser was studying to become a middle school history and government teacher. And that is what he always wanted to be. He wanted to coach basketball and be a history and a government teacher for middle schoolers. And when he got out of college, he went and started teaching, and he was in a building that had some administrative issues.
So I started teaching at a school in Ohio, and I didn't know it in my first 2 years, but apparently my principal was terrible and spent all his time in his office playing computer games. And so then a new principal came in and started doing a lot more positive things in the building, and that's what kind of made, I'd never thought about being a principal before. I thought I was going to be a varsity basketball coach, and that really made me want to be a principal when I saw the building turn around, because he had done some really cool stuff.
He went ahead and got his administrative license and has been a principal now for over a decade, and is working towards his superintendent's position by working on his doctorate right now. He is almost completed with his doctorate.
And you said that you taught in Ohio?
I did.
So where did you go to college?
So I went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, which is only about an hour and a half away from here. And then I did my master's in educational leadership at the University of Dayton, because I was living in Ohio at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I'm in the process of finishing up my doctorate at IU. And then I have a master's degree that's separate from the Kelley School of Business at IU too. So I've gone to 3 different universities, I guess.
So, of course, one of the things I really like about Mr. Kaiser is his sense of humor. When one of our first years together, we were always bashing Ball State, Miami, Ball State, Miami. And I walk in my office one morning, and he has literally trashed my office with Miami. So I threw away everything Miami, but I kept it on my trash can because, you know, Miami is always part of Ball State's trash. But the other part is that last year during the faculty basketball game, Kaiser made a half-court shot that was literally right in the bucket. So it was pretty cool.
Cool. And if you weren't a principal, where would you be right now?
If I weren't a principal, I have a feeling I probably would have gone into either law enforcement or the military, would be my guess, because those are the things that I was looking at the time. So my guess would be if I wasn't a principal, I'd be working somehow doing that.
My favorite thing about Mr. Kaiser is that one time I watched Mr. Kaiser eat 2 Chinese meals in a row back to back.
He has lived all over the world. His dad was a colonel in the Air Force, and he moved around every 2 years growing up. In fact, he spent part of his high school career in Hawaii, where he learned to surf and was able to drive at age 15 because there's nowhere you can go on Hawaii. You always hit an ocean. So I guess they figure you can drive younger there. So.
All right. And what is your favorite thing about Northview?
My favorite thing I think about Northview is I really genuinely feel like every staff member here wants to be here at Northview and is really committed to our kids and to making sure that every day you guys have a fantastic experience. We don't have anybody here who does things halfway, and everybody puts their whole full heart and soul into what they do, and that isn't always the case. And I know that sometimes you guys as kids don't know that because you know the school that you've been to, but I can tell you I've been in different schools and that's not always what people bring to the table, and it's pretty awesome.
The squirrel is what we used to make fun of Mr. Kaiser in the very beginning. He's matured and mellowed out of it a little bit, but we used to call him Squirrel because his attention would just be like all over the place, if you can kind of imagine that.
Squirrel!
He's really in this, he's really in that, he's got it made, he's all over the place, so we call him Squirrel.
So is that why you use the motto today?
Like every day is a great day to be a Falcon. As a matter of fact, I have to be 100% honest. I sort of stole that. There was an assistant principal and math teacher who was here at Northview for a long time. His name is Mr. Miedema, no relation to Mrs. Miedema, but he was here as a teacher for a long, long time and then as a principal for a long, long time. And he used to say, it's a great day to be a Falcon, and I turned it into today, like every day, is a great day to be a Falcon. And so from that point forward, it kind of added to that. But I can't take full credit for creating it. I just kind of added on to it.
Now for some other questions.
I'm excited.
How long would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, actually, my wife and I have discussed this before. In the zombie apocalypse, she's toast.
Oh.
We're pretty sure I become president of the United States in the zombie apocalypse.
Oh,
like, I
absolutely.
take things over. What you need, Tom, is a choke point. You know, zombies aren't smart,
Yeah.
so you got to get them funneling through one spot, and then you just take them down one at a time, and the zombie bodies fill up.
That's true.
Yeah.
Some people may not know Mr. Kaiser is a black belt in Taekwondo.
You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color are you?
Oh, I'm probably like a really, like, what's the most boring color you can think of? Like sand, I would say. Like, what's like the color that people would be like, why would I even use this color? That's me. I'm very bland, very boring. I feel like I'm sand, Tom.
And supposedly, he likes me more than Mrs. Bradigan.
Mr. Kaiser loves playing golf. He also loves watching his children and their activities. His son Will plays baseball, and he loves hanging out on the baseball field. His daughter does gymnastics, and he probably enjoys being at those meets less just because they take a lot of time and they're inside.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Supposedly, don't repeat it, but he so likes me better than Wallace. I kind of feel bad sometimes, but it's me over Wallace any day.
All right. And last question: if you were given 1 minute, 1 minute ad slot during the Super Bowl, what would you fill it with?
Oh, what would I fill it with? Wow, that's a really good question, Tom. Good job.
Oh, yes!
I think I would probably have a long, drawn-out advertisement explaining to people that the word is supposedly. There is no word that is supposedly, because when people say supposedly, it really, really bothers me. So I think I would make sure that the entire world in that 1 minute watching understood you have to say the D and the word is supposedly. So don't sit across from me and say, well, supposedly this happened. I think that would be my 1 minute ad just because I would like to get that cleared up for the world.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm Skylar Robinson.
And I'm Lizzie Mays.
Thanks for watching, Falcons.